Bad news keeps following Supermicro Computer. Even today, when everything is green, this stock manages to be down 6.34%. It was actually down closer to 10-11% on the day. Now, we did get a small jump last week, okay, but that didn't last long. And as you've seen right here, year to date, we're actually down now 19.3%. At one point this year, before they joined the S&P 500, this stock was up over 300%, and now it's down 19.5%. Actually, incredible when you see this time and time again. This is incredible how fast things can go for a stock with some questionable management. Now, if we zoom out a little bit more, the last 3 years, the stock is up 421%, and we're now back to levels before the huge jump. I'm going to talk about that a bit later in this video, because if you are a betting guy, if you want to play options, leaps, stuff like that, then maybe today might be the opportunity. Overall, this company has a market cap of $13.38 billion and a forward P of 7.8 times. Still, analysts are expecting this company to grow quite quickly. Fiscal year 2025, 70.5% year-over-year growth, and EPS growing 32.7%. Again, this is analyst expectations, not what the company is saying. So you cannot say, oh, I don't trust what they're saying. No, these are the analysts' expectations. And then in fiscal 2026, sales growth of 19.5% and EPS growing 30.5% year-over-year. And then for fiscal 2027, growth is slowing down tremendously. 10.3% year-over-year growth for sales and just 3.25% growth for EPS. Now, I do want to mention one thing. Right now, the short interest sits at 17.2% and it has gone up a lot in the last couple of weeks. If we look at the average analyst price target, there are still 13 analysts covering this company. The average analyst price target sits 72% higher than the price we're at today. Yes, it has come down quite a lot since the last earnings report, but I mean, still sits 72% higher than the price we're at today. 8 of the 13 analysts have a hold rating, only 1 a buy and 2 strong buy. The rest are sell and strong sell. If we look at some pricing metrics here, I've put it already against Dell. So we see that Dell is trading at a 15.6 times forward PE, SMCI basically half that. Price earnings to growth, SMCI sits at 0.21 and Dell at 1.29. Now, both are not, of course, SMCI is not expensive right now, but even Dell, without all the filing issues, short report, questionable management, 1.29, price earnings to growth, really not that expensive. And then if you look at price to free cash flow, Dell much better than SMCI. Price to sales, Dell is at 1 time, SMCI 0.5 times. Now you might say, yeah, Dell 1 time is not that expensive. Well, it's never been that high either. On a 5-year mean, that price to sales has always stayed quite low because, again, this is a low margin business, so it never really gets a super high premium from the market. If you look at EV to EBITDA, Dell sits at 10 times, SMCI at 5.7 times. And of course, we have already seen some analysts saying that, well, SMCI struggles is HP and Dell's benefit. We're going to talk about that in just a second, plus another bad news for SMCI and probably one of the main reasons why the stock is down another 6% today. So stay tuned for that. If you enjoy this type of videos, leave it a thumbs up, subscribe. If not, we really appreciate that. If you want to support me even further, do check out the link down in the description and in the pinned comment with the top 10 best stocks to buy now, or go to fool.com/couchinvestor. Thank you very much. So I want to start off with some comments from some analysts after the recent earnings call. So one from Barclays here: we expect the lack of clarity to put the stock under pressure near term with the rising risk of SMCI not meeting Nasdaq's listing requirements. During the last earnings report, Supermicro did try to tell investors that, well, they are now working on finding a new auditor to replace Ernst & Young and that it intends to submit a plan to the Nasdaq to show it is in compliance with the exchange listing requirements. The company also addressed the situation related to its delayed 10K and said it has seen no evidence of fraud or misconduct, but it remains difficult to say when the report will be filed. However, Wang said the risk is rising that Supermicro ultimately is not in compliance and a possible index removal could also continue to pressure the stock as the next S&P 500 rebalancing is in early December. Another analyst from Citi said the following: given Supermicro's woes, we believe Dell and to a lesser extent HPE will likely benefit from improving AI order momentum and competitive intensity in the quarters ahead. Supermicro said on its earnings call that Nvidia has not made any changes to how it allocates GPUs to its customers. Merchants added that Supermicro management said it does not expect any impediments to raising working capital in an effort to fulfill higher cost Blackwell GPU orders. And so here are a couple of things that were mentioned during the earnings call. Revenue came in lower at the end of guidance due to customers waiting for the new Blackwell chip. Gross margins are expected to improve as new products and solutions are introduced, especially liquid cooling. Inventory levels are expected to remain relatively stable. The company is working diligently to address the audit and filing issues. The company has significant capacity in place, including in Malaysia, but current utilization is relatively low due to chip availability. The company is working closely with Nvidia and is confident in its ability to deliver strong solutions based on the new chip. The company maintains strong relationships with customers and suppliers, including Nvidia. Operating cash flow improved due to working capital optimization and increased profitability. The company remains optimistic about its long-term growth prospect, driven by new product solutions and increased market share. They emphasized its long-standing and strong relationship with Nvidia, highlighting joint development projects and mutual commitments. The company expressed confidence in securing sufficient chip allocations from Nvidia despite the current challenges. With regards to liquid cooling, Supermicro positioned itself as a leader in liquid cooling solutions, emphasizing its early adoption and significant market share. And the company indicated that customers are showing interest in its liquid cooling solutions and is starting to build a backlog of orders for its Blackwell-based systems. Now, shall I remind you what they wrote last week in their press release? They said the following: the special committee has completed its investigation based on a set of initial concerns raised by EY. Following a 3-month investigation led by independent counsel, the committee's investigation to date has found that the audit committee has acted independently and that there is no evidence of fraud or misconduct on the part of management or the board of directors. The committee is recommending a series of remedial measures for the company to strengthen its internal governance and oversight functions, and the committee expects to deliver the full report on the completed work this week or next. So, this is now the next week, and we're still waiting. As for the 10K, the company continues to work diligently on matters related to the Form 10K for the fiscal year ending June 30, 2024, but remains unable at this time to predict when the Form 10K will be filed. So, the problem now is, as we've seen before, S&P index rebalancing in December. If this does not get sorted out, there is going to be quite a big issue. Now you might say, okay, maybe now the huge selling that we're seeing is probably some of the folks already selling in anticipation of them getting delisted or removed from the index. Now I don't know how exactly that works. I'm not going to comment on that. If you know, let me know down in a comment section below, but I still assume that, well, if you're following the index and it's in the index, then you still have to keep that percentage, I would assume. If I'm wrong, correct me in the comment section below. Now, with regards to the NASDAQ compliance plan, they said that, well, Supermicro announced on September 20 that it received a notification letter from NASDAQ stating that the company is not in compliance with NASDAQ listing rule some numbers, which requires timely filing of reports with the SEC. On September 17, the letter was sent as a result of the company's delay in its filing of the Form 10K. So, what happens now is this. Under the NASDAQ rules, the company has 60 days from the date of the notice either to file the Form 10K or to submit a plan to NASDAQ to regain compliance with NASDAQ's listing rules. If a plan is submitted and accepted, the company could be granted up to 180 days from the Form 10K's due date to regain compliance. If NASDAQ does not accept the company's plan, then the company will have the opportunity to appeal that decision to a NASDAQ hearing panel. The company intends to take all necessary steps to achieve compliance with the NASDAQ continued listing requirements as soon as possible. Well, to be honest, I don't really have that much trust in them right now. And then we've got this coming out. Supermicrocomputer reportedly drops the ball on a huge order for NVIDIA's Blackwell chip, prompting a Taiwanese company to pick up the tab. So this outlet reported earlier in November, so probably in the last 10 days or so, that NVIDIA has allegedly begun redirecting its orders that were originally placed with SMCI to other, more stable suppliers. If confirmed, this would constitute a seminal moment, as SMCI was, until recently, NVIDIA's third largest customers. Now, it seems that Supermicrocomputer major clients are also abandoning it, especially as it remains mired in allegations of financial impropriety, a preliminary DOJ investigation, the exodus of its second auditor in around 18 months, and an imminent delisting from the Nasdaq exchange. To wit, a Taiwanese daily is now reporting that Supermicrocomputer recently halted the expansion of its major factory in Malaysia, one that would have doubled its production capacity to 10,000 server cabinets per month. This expansion halt, however, upended the plans of YTL Group, a major consumer of NVIDIA's AI servers and one of SMCI's largest customers, to build a green AI data center on the 1,640 acres YTL data center campus in Malaysia. The facility aims to stitch together one of the largest AI supercomputers in the world by deploying NVIDIA's DGX GB200 full cabinet AI servers at scale. YTL has now reportedly transferred its orders with SMCI to Taiwan Wistron Group and its weighing factory in Malaysia. This development comes as SMCI CEO Charles Liang recently conceded that the company was asking NVIDIA every day for fresh batches of the Blackwell chips, but that not enough new chips were being delivered. So, yeah. As Peter Lynch said, it's always darkest before pitch black. I mean, until the company really comes out with results, an explanation, the 10K, the Nasdaq compliance letters that come out with some actual, something to work with, can we trust anything around this company? Probably not. Even if it does look like we might have hit bottom, right? We are now seeing a little green candle here, which sits miraculously at the bottom that we've seen back here in September 2023 and October 2023. Now, RSI is not even oversold on the weekly. It is very, very low, but not oversold just yet. Could $23 be the bottom for SMCI until we see until we get some real news from behind the scenes? Maybe, I don't know, if I was a betting man, $23 right now does seem attractive, but then again, I'm not really that good at betting, so me personally, I'm staying away, but if you know how to play the options game, then maybe it's worth it, maybe, right? But then again, it's either you win big or you're probably going to lose all of it, if not most of it. So yeah, bad news continues to pursue SMCI and its stock, and it's up to management. It's up to management to come out with some results, with some answers, because to be honest, it's incredible, because it's not a company that deals with financials and stuff like that and everything is fugazi, it's a wazi, it's a woozy, it's fairy dust. No, they actually make hardware, they make real products, which blows my mind, especially since NVIDIA and them are quite big partners, right? So, and Intel and AMD as well. So yeah, remains to be seen what happens. Of course, do share your thoughts down in the comment section below. If you enjoy this type of videos, leave it a thumbs up, subscribe if not, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.